We're going to talk about migrants. We're going to look at a quick little clip from DL, and then we're going to move ahead slightly. But I want y'all to talk to me.
I know they can't be so different.
Just don't happen here.
You know what's interesting? You do hear that, and whenever I hear people say that, because I know in Michigan and Wisconsin and a lot of Rust Belt say that is something that is bantered around about. But the thing is, I always hear that taking our job. I never name me the job you see an illegal immigrant doing. You go, I should be doing that right there. You know what I mean? So there's an attempt.
If Trump said that, it would be offensive, right? Oh, but he's a comedian. Oh, but it's not a comedic set. So is it? Let me be very clear. I don't know who DL Hughley thinks black people are, as if we're just above doing certain jobs. I don't know what he thinks it is. I respect a lot of these. One thing that I do respect about the migrants coming in is, and I've heard this reported in a few different places, so I feel confident in it. A lot of these migrants are like, yo, we don't want these damn checks. We want to work. They want to work. I respect when I drive past Home Depot and I see people up there bright and early because they got to go bust. They got to go make sure that they're out there first and foremost before everybody else every day, not knowing if they're going to get guaranteed work, not knowing what they're going to have to do, not knowing what skill they're going to have to use. They're just figuring it out, doing whatever they need to do to put food on the table for them and their family. I respect that. Now, when Trump said black jobs, we had a problem, right? When he said black jobs, right, we had a problem. Well, let's be clear. When we brought up the top 15 of people broken down by ethnicities of what people make in a household, black people were at the bottom, right? I think it was a lot of Asian populations at the top. Even white Americans were somewhere in the middle. But black people were at the bottom. So based on your income being at the bottom for household income, it's just the stats. That would mean that the jobs that black people take on make less money, right? So we had a problem with Trump saying black jobs because everybody felt like, well, what does he mean black job? Is that less than a white job? Well, technically, if you look at what white people make, black people make less. So they're, on average, their jobs pay them more. Just a fact. Now, you may say the same thing about a lot of the migrants coming in, but why was it an issue when Trump said it? But then DL Hughley has no problem saying, like, man, black people, who wants those migrant jobs? Maybe we should take on those jobs. Maybe a lot of us could benefit from learning some skills, learning how to do certain trades that a lot of those migrants have, or whoever else. They may be citizens that are going to Home Depot, wherever they are. They have certain skills, in my opinion, that can set them up to have more success than a lot of other people running around looking for whatever office job or whatever degree they're fighting for. You got people getting college degrees and then go becoming baristas at Starbucks. No disrespect to a barista, but I'm just saying, when DL Hughley says something about a Mexican job or a migrant job, my apologies for assuming Mexican, just the border right there. But when he says a migrant job, like it's just maybe black people need to humble ourselves. Maybe we need to humble ourselves, because I guess I should just respond how everybody else responded and say, well, what is a migrant job? What is a migrant job? Stop it. Let's keep going. So I said we only wanted to discuss that point right there. Then I wanted to move on to immigration. We're just going to fast forward just a minute. Fast forward a minute.
Is for some people worth it. We're going to talk to Mark Marial, looking all fly. Look at you. You are the former mayor of New Orleans and the current head of the National Urban League. What is the real truth about immigration?
The truth is that for all the rhetoric, there has not been
an immigration bill. And when there was an immigration bill to try to fix the immigration system, guess what happened? Donald Trump didn't wink and nod. He pulled out his bullhorn and told his friends in Congress, do not pass it. He functioned.
Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop blaming. You blaming losses on somebody that's not even in the game. Stop crying. First and foremost, they're the ones, when Kamala Harris and Biden came in, they got rid of the executive orders that Donald Trump put in place that was containing the border. They put in their policies, and then it quadrupled the amount of people coming in. And now you're crying about, well, Donald Trump called his friends and he told them not to accept. Figure it out. That's what you're the president. You don't have anybody to make excuses to. It's on you. Figure it out. You're the vice president. You said that you were involved in all the decisions that the president was making. So therefore, when we asked you, you said, when the View asked you and said, would you do anything differently? You said, nothing comes to mind. If you want the role as president, you can't play the blame game. You can't say, oh, well, we tried to get this passed, but Donald Trump called his friends. Okay, well, what if Donald Trump calls his friends if you win the election? Are you then going to come to us 4 years later when you're trying to get reelected and say, well, Donald Trump called his friends. Tell him to stop calling his friends. And you created the problem. You created the problem.
As an obstructionist, once again, playing games with all of us. So the issue is, do you run on a problem or do you run on a solution?
And real quick, I just noticed Uncle Brother's comment. I did want to bring that up. Under Biden, the price of everything spiked and took back all that PPP money I'd gotten from Trump. So also, they acknowledged, and I kind of skipped over it, they did acknowledge that the prices have gone up significantly under Biden. One of the dudes, he acknowledged it, but then said, well, that's only because of it was one of those things. But it frustrating.
And immigration is a challenge in America.
And the reason why this is frustrating, I want to be very clear. This is not frustrating for me. I'll be totally honest. It's frustrating because I really feel for people. There's a lot of people that are getting misled by a lot of successful older gentlemen like the people that we're seeing in this video. And what happens is they mislead a lot of us, have us thinking a particular way to where we're embracing this victimhood rather than embracing a hero syndrome. Embrace the hero syndrome. Embrace being a hero. Okay, there's odds against me. So what? Oh, well, do you know that only one out of how many players will make it to the NBA, or one out of every, only 0.00% of this 0.001% are going to make it in the major leagues? Kids have no problem embracing the lottery odds of making it to the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, MLS, all these other leagues. Have no problem embracing it. The WNBA. But when it comes to embracing real life obstacles and challenges, we act as if, oh my God, we can't expect to compete. The odds are against us. Stop listening to these older folks. Stop. Listen to yourself. If you believe in yourself, then that's the only from that standpoint, listen to other people that believe in you. Listen to other people that believe in themselves enough to where they focus on the things that are in their control and not complaining about other people holding them back from accomplishing things.
That needs a solution. Sure. But we have to remember, as Black people, that a substantial part of immigrants in America are Black people.
Listen to this.
Haitians, Nigerians, Jamaicans, and a substantial part of the Latino community are Afro-Latino.
Black people always want to involve and invite everybody into their struggle. It happened in the 60s, and then as soon as I just got to call it out, from my understanding, I may be off, but a lot of the Latino Hispanic population who benefited from a lot of the Black people pushing civil rights, when they started pushing their stuff, they didn't necessarily bring Black people along. But here this gentleman wants us to impress. Well, everybody's Black. The Afro-Latinos, the Nigerians, the Jamaicans, first and foremost, all of these groups that he's naming, The majority of them that I know in real life do not necessarily see us as the same. But now you want us to see them as the same when it comes to providing them some type of comfort and providing them a place and a support system for them to have. Like this is why black people never get anything done. So many people benefit from black people's movements, just like what happened with George Floyd. I thought that Black Lives Matter was based on the majority of black men dying. I know there was Sandra Bland and a few other women, but it was the majority of young black men and some older black men. Right? Remember Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Eric Garner? You remember all these people? That's where Black Lives Matter got its biggest. It's got its biggest amount of popularity. But what happened was when George Floyd died, I shouldn't say, but now, what happened? Now they're putting rainbows in the street. Now Black Queer Lives Matter, Black LGBT. It turned more into everything else except black people, especially except black men. Even the head of the groups, they're donating money. Go check out the Candace Owens documentary on Black Lives Matter. She dismantled them single-handedly. That's why we don't see them anymore running around trying to run scams on people like they were before. They're giving all their money to LGBTQ organizations. Black people always get hustled into being the pawns for fights that they think are for them. But while everybody else sits back and enjoys and reaps the benefits of the black people going out there and sacrificing themselves.
We have to understand this and not allow this old strategy. It's an old game.
Yes, get these old heads out of here.
Divide and conquer and confuse and then laugh.
Yeah.
And when I say get these old heads out of here, I shouldn't have to say get these old heads out of here. If you're a real big homie, if you're an old head that wants to lead and is really about leadership, then you will single-handedly, you will emphasize passing down the torch to somebody, not trying to keep the spotlight to yourself, but passing it down and preparing the next generation to lead rather than trying to hold on to it as long as you can because you're scared to step out the spotlight. And listen to all the claps. Listen to all the support. All right, so we're going to move on to 4834. Let's take a look at this. Oh, man. Protecting black women. Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.